Good morning, students. Today, under the same series of Log On to Animate CC, the topic which we're going to cover is setting document properties. So, let's proceed. Each time when we open Animate, the application opens a new file which the with the default settings for the new movie's property. We can create a new movie as we want. So to set the frame rate, background color and rest of the things, we just have to follow these steps. First, have to click on File, then click on New. This new document dialog box will appear from where we can able to make the changes. From the new document dialog box, select Action Script 3.0 option in the Type section. After making changes in the stage dimensions, ruler unit, background color and frame rate, just click on OK. So this is the screen from where this is the window document dialog box where we can able to make the all the changes in width, height, ruler unit, frame rate, background color and finally have to click on OK. Suppose we have already made one document and we want to make changes in that. So changing the setting of an already opened document. So for that, we just have to click on Modify, Document option. Then type 160 in the width text box and 600 in the height text box and make the required changes in rest of the field. And click on OK when we finished entering the new dimensions to return the authoring environment. So here from this document setting dialog box, you can able to make changes in stage size, that is width and height. In pixels you can change, then stage color, frame rate and just have to click on OK. Now drawing an object and grouping outline with fill. So when we make drawing in Animate, it actually creates two objects, the fill and the outline. To manipulate them as single, we need to group them. Choose Modify and from Modify drop down list, we have to click on Group option or have to press Ctrl plus G to group an object. Here you can see there are two, actually it is one object but it can be two, like the stroke color is different and the fill color is different, so we can consider it as two objects. But if we want to make them one, we have to select it and press Ctrl plus G or have to select Modify then Group. Now next topic is gradient. What is gradient? A gradient is a multi-color fill in which one color gradually changes into another color. Animate CC, formerly Flash Professional CC, lets you apply to 15 color transitions to a gradient. Creating a gradient is a good way to create a smooth color gradation across one or more objects. You can save a gradient as a swatch to make it easy to apply the gradient to multiple objects. Animates can be created two types of gradient. Now how we can able to apply gradient fills. So to apply a gradient fill to the existing artwork, select an object or object on stage. If the color panel is not visible, select window and then color. To select a color display mode, select RGB, that is the default setting, or HSB from the panel menu. And finally select a gradient type from the type menu. So basically there are two types of gradient, linear gradient and radial gradient. So linear is one which creates a gradient that shades from the starting point to the end point in the straight line, as you can see in the figure 2. And second type is a radial gradient, where it produces a gradient that blends outward in a circular path from the central focal point. So in that case, the central focal point is little bit lighter and the rest of the portion it is much darker as compared to. Now if we want to create our own gradient, so we just have to follow these steps. Open the color panel by choosing window, then color, and choose linear gradient from the color type drop down list. Double click one of the horizontal slider that appears below the gradient ramp at the bottom to see the swatch panel. Pick a color to apply to that slider. To add more colors to your gradient, click anywhere on the gradient ramp to add a slider. You can then double click the slider to set the color. Adjust the color blend of the gradient by moving the sliders. To remove colors or sliders, click the slider you want to remove and drag it off the panel to the left or right. Choose Add Swatch from the panel menu to save your new gradient. And the gradient swatch is added to the swatches panel alongside the existing gradient.